Dick Bach and World Pacific Records, one of the hippest jazz labels on earth ever, the guy who recorded all of the West Coast sound and the guy who was the recorder of Ravi Shankar. The first Ravi Shankar records, maybe they're brought out something on the East Coast, I don't know. But all the records of Ravi Shankar I know were all on World Pacific Records. So what happens with Dick Bach, man, is Dick and I get to talking. Dick is a spiritual, psychedelic kind of guy. We came down to the studio to see us performing or playing or recording, and he said, "Very nice, boys, very nice." You know, he wasn't concerned one way or the other about the rock and roll aspect of the whole thing. He said, "You guys are real good," and we got to talking about spiritual matters and about LSD. And I talked to Dick about having some LSD bummers. You know, I had attained my state of bliss and state of oneness through the ingestion of LSD, but I had also experienced hell. And I was right in the middle of one of these bummer periods, trying to put the whole thing together, trying to figure out, you know, why don't I have these blissful experiences like I had? Why have I been having these bummer experiences? And Dick said to me, "You know what you ought to do, man?" He said, because I saw the Ravi Shankar records and felt I could speak to him about this sort of thing. And he said, "You ought to get involved. There's an Indian guru who is setting up a program here in Los Angeles. His name is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the Maharishi. He gave me a couple of records that he had made with the Maharishi, and he said, just listen to what this guy is talking about." Well, the Maharishi on the records went on and on and on and just talked, and put you in a hypnotic trance just from his talking, when the guy just went on and on and on. And I said, well, to Dick, I said, after listening to him, I said, well, you know, quite frankly, I'm not getting anything out of the records, but what is this mantra thing that he's talking about? And Dick said, that's what you've got to do, man. He said, what you've got to do is go to this course, series of 6 lectures, and they give you a mantra. Now, what we were trying to do at the time was to attain what is called a natural high. How to stay high, like you're on LSD, without ingesting LSD. That was the whole point of it, a natural high. He said, that's what this is. This is what this is all about. And he gave me the address of where this thing was going to take place, this little course, this lecture series was going to take place. And Dorothy and I went. Now, how this impacts the Doors is, guess who else is in that course of 6 lectures at the Maharishi's Meditation Center, or at somebody's house. It was actually at somebody's house in Pacific Palisades. In that course of approximately 20 other people are John Densmore and Robbie Krieger, drummer and guitar player of the Doors. Is that weird? So I went up to John and I said, listen, I hear you're a drummer. He said, yeah. I said, I'm putting a rock and roll band together. I got this buddy of mine, man. He's just a great writer, and we got some great material. I mean, I want to do poetry and rock and roll, you know, like poetry and jazz, you know, and I want to have it kind of like a jazz-based thing. He said, jazz? He said, are you into Coltrane? I said, Coltrane, man, I love Coltrane. He said, Elvin Jones is my idol. And he said, what about Miles? I said, Miles, you know, I'm Bill Evans, you know. He said, man, Philly Joe, huh? Ding, dun, dun, crack, ding, dun, dun. I love Philly Joe. And I said, well, God, I mean, this is going to work out great. I mean, here's a guy who knows his jazz, man. But we're going to do rock and roll. He said, cool. He said, you know, I mean, I'm not good enough to be a real jazz drummer. I said, well, hell, I'm not good enough to be a real jazz piano player. I just love the stuff. If we could incorporate that into rock and roll, I said, you know, no one's doing that, man. My buddy Jim has got these great lyrics, man. They're very poetic, and we could do all kinds of stuff around it. He said, that sounds great. Let's get together. I said, yeah, we got to get a guitar player too, though. And he points over at Robbie. He said, well, see that guy, man? He's a guitar player. I said, what?
Dead cats, dead rats, did you see what they were at? All right. Dead cat in a top hat. Woo! Sucking on a young man's blood. the day, destroy the night. Night divides the day. Tried to run, tried to hide. Hang on through to the other side. Hang on through to the other side. Hang on through to the other side. Chased off, lay all here. Dug out, trail there. Still recall time to pride. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through, yeah. All right. Find an island in your arms, country in your eyes. Arms and trains, eyes and light. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through, yeah. All right.
Take the highway to the end of the night, end of the night, end of the night. Some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to the endless night. End of the night. End of the night. End of the night. End of the night.